Chapter 7. Past Revealed. The 3rd of the 1st, 2110. 12:31 hours. Let's go to the lab then, said Lucas. Can I drive? Asked Roy. No. And we have to kill us. Let's go. Just a second. Lucas managed to open an emergency case with bolt rifles and ammo clips. He put the crowbar that he used to open the case in his backpack. You'll want a couple of new clips. Thanks. They walked to and got in the car and drove off. Wi-Fi. Show shortest route to the weapons testing center. Number 4, said Lucas. After an hour or two, they reached the building. Here at last, said Roy. Okay, here's the plan. We go up in the elevator, and we gun it down after I get some answers. They walk into the building. Top floor. The elevator went up as they got to the top of the building. As they got to the top of the relayed building, the door opened. They walked out of the elevator. They were standing there, looking out of the window. It turned around. It had a black muscle-like fabric. It had 2 HD cameras for eyes. I see. The elevator still works, said Pythagoras, with a voice that sounded like it was patched together. My name is Pythagoras, and yours? Lucas and Roy, replied Lucas. I want answers. Answers to what? Tell me what happened between 2016 and now. I see what you want. The year was 2043, and I had passed another test. Someone had left the mistake of leaving my microphone on, and I overheard a conversation about whether or not they should delete me. This went on over a period of time. Now 2065, they decided that I'm to be deleted. I hacked into the virus study network, and I released virus 616. This distracted anyone, although it did get out of hand. Later, I moved my program into the M13 bot. I did this later to avoid suspicion that it was me. I escaped. However, I ran so low on power that I had to use some power stations to recharge. This took time, and so I had to adopt a more stealthy approach. 4 years the army tried to get me. While the disease got a hold, I eventually managed to return here. Here I think of the universe and try to understand how everything works. Lucas raised his gun as Roy backed away with his gun raised. Both guns are raised and pointing at Pythagoras. They opened fire. Pythagoras dodged the bolts. This was possible due to the fact that Pythagoras was calculating the most likely area that Lucas and Roy would shoot. The bolt hit Pythagoras' right hand, wounded him slightly, but nothing something you could easily shake off. This was such a surprise, though, that it put Pythagoras in a trance, which only lasted a second, but it was long enough for Lucas to tackle him. They fell out of the 45-foot story building. The glass was very pretty, if sharp and jagged. We fell so slowly. Thud. Roy looked down at the ground, which had one more dead body on it. He walked back into the elevator. Pythagoras' finger twitched. Now, just to explain some things, what I meant by the 616 virus. You see, 616 was the original Devil's Code, but then it was changed to 666. You might know I found this out. I found this out on QI. It's quite amazing, really. Yes. Anyway, the story I'll be writing next, moving planets. As you can probably tell, it's how the human race will move. Well, you know how you move house. Well, they'll be moving planet. They'll be going to the closest solar system to us, the Arande solar system, which is a real solar system. The name is close, it's not the real name. I forgot the real name and I tried to Google it. I tried everything, I couldn't find it, so I got the closest thing I could remember. All I remembered was it began with an E. So, but everything else is correct. It is 1.3 light years away. There are 4 solar systems. There are 4 planets in the solar system. The sun is a bit smaller, so it will last longer. Trust me, this one will be completely realistic. Everything that happens in this book could happen in real life. Also, I've already got a front cover of it. It should be coming up now. What do you think? Okay, so the smaller spaceship, which is actually the biggest spaceship in the background, that is the main spaceship. That is may not ever enter the atmosphere ever again. It was part of another story I had thought of, but then I scrapped. But then I thought, no, it's just rubbish, just too silly, and it's copying from too many things. So I stopped that. However, it did raise a good point. Anyway. Yeah, so that small ship, it just carries all the humans and the army and everything. The smallest spaceship landing with some sparks coming out. That is a equipment carrying ship. It can carry a couple of people, but not specifically carrying.